fellow lepers. I recognize the fact of my leprosy. I'm a Nigerian. That's why I'm always careful to explain that I'm not a citizen. I'm a victim of Nigeria. It is the grace of God that has kept one from the grave up till this point. 6 years ago, almost to the exact day, I was sent to prison by a court in this country for life, in the service of a church in this city. But the grace of God is what has kept me here, and I was freed. No, hold on, please. The point I'm trying to make to all of us is this. If we do not recognize the fact of the commonality of our victimhood, if you continue to think that those who voted Bulaba deserve their punishment and you don't want anything to do with them, you can't even bring yourself to show mercy to them as Christians, how do you bring yourself together to fight the evil? Okay, so you know the truth, but they are so ignorant because they have embraced hatred that they do not know the truth. How have you, as Christians, shown them the truth? I know it's actually very annoying, especially if you live in this neighborhood. This is Okota. Yeah. The vast majority of my Oriental brothers and sisters live in this neighborhood. You have borne the brunt of the madness that has overtaken our country. And you will see more. As we are drawing closer, because for them the election cycle has started. The election cycle has nothing to do with your votes. They don't care. They've written the result already. But having written the result, they need you to now begin to divide yourselves. You need to be told to ignore the pains in your bellies, the hunger. You must forget it. And for you to forget it, they must give you hatred to embrace. And I saw a piece in the paper, I think sometime this past week, and I know that they have started the race. You know what I saw? Ajeromi Felodun local government published a list of streets they were renaming in Ajegunle. And I saw how they are attempting to whitewash history and pretend that a certain ethnic group do not exist in that neighborhood. And I laughed. But I also know that it will require the complicity of good men and women who elect to embrace hatred for that madness to endure. I have lived in the Lekki axis for at least about 22 years. I have been associated with that axis for over 30 years. I know the area well. The names on our streets, and I'm just using this to illustrate so that you understand the insidious nature of the evil that has overtaken our country. The names on the streets in the entirety of the Lekki Peninsula, I don't know about other parts of Lagos State, they came about in a specified manner. Lekki was a swamp, a vast swamp. It was only the express that had any solidity to it. And they were selling land. And my Oriental brothers and sisters came. They would buy land in swamps. And then they would build roads with rubbles. And then they would bring transformer. And then they would build a street gate. And other people would be encouraged by the reason of their presence to come and start building on their own plots. And then the way you name streets, you take an application to the traditional ruler that the street be named after you. The traditional ruler and his secretary will verify your contribution to the neighborhood you are asking to be named after you. Almost every name you see decorating any street in Lekki, particularly the entirety of the greater Lekki Peninsula, they were men who either built roads or bought transformers. They were the first, they were the pioneers. Those who are today turning around and making it seem as if these things came by accident and they were on hand in an attempt to turn brothers against brothers for reason of political validation, they require you to forget that you are commonly lepers. May God cure all of us of our leprosy. But it does not change the fact that Nigeria has inflicted leprosy on those who should be citizens. Our afflictions are common to us. What do we do? I believe that in the coming days, weeks, and months, we must, as a collective, begin to find common purpose and set out what it is that we believe should happen to us as a people, and then stand behind our demands. They have children sent to correctional centers and facilities across the country. Parents are sat mostly unconcerned. A lot do not even know that this is in any way connected to them. But the reality is that tomorrow is actually quite gloomy if you took a very good look at where we are today. There is a urgency of now. That urgency does not allow us to outsource the resolution of these problems to a future generation. There is nobody coming to save us. The Americans won't save us. Get that clear. They benefit from this. Neither will the British. They've even tried to do you 419 now. They have a Yoruba sounding person heading the Conservatives. It's all a scam. They need to bring what they are losing in Europe. They need to bring it out of the Commonwealth. So everything that has happened to us, you will not hear any one of the beneficiaries speak on our behalf. Have you heard any condemnation from the European Union? Have you heard anything from Britain? Have you heard anything from America? A long time ago, we were busy naming streets after American diplomats, thinking that salvation was coming from abroad. Salvation is not coming from abroad. I also assure you that Daddy will lead you in prayers, but we also need to act. Without acting, prayers are, I'm sorry to say, useless. God will do what God will do. But men must do what men will do. And in our own case, if we stay here, we perish. It's not really just Bible speak. It's the reality. Our situation is dire. We need to find the commonality of our affliction and then find common ground and common purpose. I'm on a church pulpit, so I am careful not to offend certain sensibilities. But let me also say this. May the tribe of Pastor Ayedogbon increase. When the Church of Christ becomes complicit in the emasculation and oppression of the people of God,